Now, this is less of a lesson and more of a warning. It is possible to turn on automatic constraints in AutoCAD. There are a number of ways of doing this, including the Autoconstrain command, and as we're going to cover in this lesson, the CONSTRAINTIFER setting. It's CONSTRAINTIFER. It's a bit of a weird word. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, and I also don't really like it as a setting, which is why we're going to have a look at it. Use it at your peril. To begin with, let's just look at what happens when we draw a rectangle. You can see that when I draw a rectangle, there are no constraints. It's just a polyline. I can move it around freely. If I then turn on the CONSTRAINTIFER setting and I change the value to 1, and then I launch the rectangle command, you see that the geometry created automatically has some constraints added to it. Some of these are good, some of these are bad. This is why I haven't covered it until now. And every time you create the geometry, it will be different. I'm just going to show you this example and how I troubleshoot that. Use it at your peril. So I've created this geometry and now this does not look promising. AutoCAD hasn't really understood my design intent. I'm going to convert this into a block. As always, using the bottom left corner as my reference point. I'm going to begin by showing all of the constraints that are available to me by clicking in the ribbon. Now let's have a look at what's going on. These little blue dots, that's a coincidence constraint. The others you can hover over and you can see what is affecting what. Now I just know that that's going to cause me problems. Let's delete that one. Right click, delete. Then I'm going to put the coincidence constraint where I would expect to find it. I'm going to constrain that to vertical because I know I don't want it to be roaming around. And I think I'll fix this relationship as well. I'm going to use the collinear. Just to be safe, I'll do the bottom as well. Much better. Much better. Now I shall start applying some angular constraints. And an aligned constraint or two, so I can change the length of the arm. I feel this block really highlights the pros of the constraints over the actions and parameters. Again, I encourage you to review my other course and see for yourself. A few more aligned constraints. And linear constraints. And a bit of fine-tuning so I can better see what's happening. Of course, I'm going to hide these from the final model. Save the changes. And there we have it. Now, if you create the geometry, it's almost certainly going to have different problems, different positives, different negatives. This is just one example of troubleshooting. I'm going to include the reference block that I worked from, so you can fix the problem as I did. But I also encourage you to test it out on your own geometry and try this for yourself. I also encourage you to try the Autoconstrain command, which can be found in the ribbon, and see for yourself if it works or if you want to ignore it completely. Good luck. If you're enjoying these lessons as much as I'm enjoying making them, please check the link in the description. In addition to the free lessons that are available online, I also have a number of resources available for download, including written instructions, formulas, advanced techniques and tips, and DWG files to download. By supporting me, you're supporting learners all over the world from different backgrounds, different educations, and different starting points. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I'll see you in the next video.